Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Brown Man Inc. Hey, today I'm going to use this little time to talk about common sense and what's right and what's wrong and yada yada yada. If you think something's different from what I got to say, you just continue on down that path. So, great opportunity. One of our good customers sent his 70 E-body unit. And everybody talks about those E-body components. They're extremely valuable. They're some of the most expensive. That 70 E-body components, that power unit from start to finish. Remember now, I always talk about power units are usually 4 parts. Master cylinder, the booster, the plate, and the linkage that goes on the back of the booster. They're all a little bit different. The 70 E-body components are unique. In the front is the fabled, super rare, the most desirable master cylinder on the planet is the 2229171. Now, all Bendix numbers and casting numbers are 4-digit numbers. There is no such thing as USA 3882 and all that nonsense. I don't care what your cousin told you or your stepdaddy. All that's bullshit. And 222 designates the decade of the 60s. That's when it was cast or designed or whatever. And the other numbers on there usually refer to the mold number. When that thing starts wearing out, they need to know which one to replace. Are you with me? And oftentimes on the left-hand side of the disc master cylinder, you'll see a little date code. And usually the top line, I know it's going to be real hard to see, pitted. The top line is Bendix numbers. Usually starts off with E. And down here we've got a 0. That means 70. And looks like right here, as I can tell, 104. 70, 104th day, 1970. C looks like C shift. So, are you with me? That's when this thing was assembled and put together. So, and of course, he's got the correct lid on there. J1703. That was the .3 fluid, Mopar's .3 fluid. This one in the Hemi unit, they have their own gasket. It is very specific. It's the only ones that got the 2 little circles. That's taking it all the way down there. This was a rusted piece of shit when it got sent in. Of course, we've completely redone it, brass sleeved it, and all new cups and stuff. So it looked something like that. Yes, myself and Uncle Joe, we can work some miracles. And then, right, we got this connected to this original 70 booster. I talk about it all the time. The 70 boosters got these 3 facets, just like the other Bendix boosters, but they're unique. They got a little different information on 18268. Don't worry about that too much. You see that stamped every now and then on tandem units. It really doesn't mean anything. You see it over and over again. But what makes the 70 different, the 70 Bendix different from all others is what? Number 1, it's got this little diamond right here, this little recession in the can. What is that for? That is for the piston retainer screw and arm, so that the master cylinder can actually bolt up flush and flat on the booster. Are you with me? And the 70 rear push rod is thick, and it has a bushing in it like the B-bodies did. It's thick and has a bushing in it much like the 60 through 70 B-bodies did. You see that? It's thick and thick. It's the power unit for 66 through 70 that we're getting ready to send out. 2nd generation tandem Bendix unit. This is a B-body linkage. An E-body linkage is very similar, but the dumbbell is just about 1/4 of an inch longer. The 70 linkage is very unique. These aren't 2 pieces, it's 1 piece. It's about that long. All of the components on a 70 Chrysler E-body power brake unit are extremely specific, and they're only used that year and that year only. And then they change things up. Now, every now and then we see a Midland-Ross stuck on there because that's what they had. No Midland-Ross was ever used on a 70 E-body. The Midland-Ross wasn't brought into production until 1971. Why is that? Bendix lost the contract. 70 was the last year they had it on the B&E body. You'll see a few 71, 72 B&E bodies with the other Bendix on it, not this one right here. Those were just left over. They were using them up. When you're going to sell your car or you're looking to get it appraised, 71 through 74 B bodies use the Midland-Ross. Midland came in and undercut them, and they got the contract. Midland-Ross has a very unique little arm coming out of it. It's got a linkage. It's based on the clevis pin design. It has no bushing, no bolt. It's clevis pins with cotter pins. That is a Midland-Ross booster. And of course you can always tell just about Midland-Ross as a corporation didn't have shit to do with Mopar. They just yellow zinc their stuff as a rust preventative, and Bendix, they shone everything semi-gloss black. That was just the company policy. So Bendix components are semi-gloss black, and these Midland-Ross boosters, you'll see them yellow zinc. I do a lot of them in CAD. It's 4 times more durable, little darker. Yellow cadmium is 3 to 4 times more durable than the yellow zinc. Yellow zinc is very thin, and it doesn't last that long. So, there you go, my friends. We're getting ready to send this out to my buddy. Get it going on a 70 E-body. Absolutely correct all the way down to everything except for the check valve. There are no 70 check valves anymore. The 70 used a very specific check valve. 70 only used a very specific check valve, and it was a carryover, a straight shot unit, extremely similar to this used on the early tandem Bendix and the Hemis. This straight one right here would go right there. That's what's correct all the way. I mean, when you're really getting down to the nitty gritty, are you with me? The 6-pack purple car that's convertible, there you go. Now, I want to warn you of one thing, that we see this all the time. And it is an error, and I'm going to tell you why it's an error. Okay. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to get some people to tell me I'm an idiot. Well, I know what I'm talking about, and you don't. There was never a gasket between the booster and the master cylinder. There was never no gasket between the booster and the master cylinder. Number one, common sense is going to tell you, this should be a sealed unit. This is a vacuum booster, a vacuum motor, and it should be sealed by itself. If it's got an effing leak in it, then it ain't no good. Are you with me? If this has got a leak and needs to be sealed to something, then it ain't no good. Now, this thing right here is a hydraulic cylinder. By definition, it shouldn't have no leaks either. So, this one is hydraulic fluid, and this is air and vacuum. So, we gonna bolt them together so that they can leak together? No, that's dumb. Number two, when you add anything to the front of the booster, it decreases the travel of the booster push rod. It decreases the travel of the booster push rod by that distance. That ought to tell you something. That means that the damn piston right here does not get pushed as far as it should. Now, if you take a hydraulic cylinder and you don't push it as far as it can be pushed, well, then it ain't going to do all the work that it's supposed to do. I'm going to tell you that. It's a fact. I don't care whether you believe it or not. It's just a fact. So, that's what that acorn nut was, and it was set from the factory. So, where does this gasket come from that you see on some cars? I'm going to tell you where it comes from, because I used to do it. Okay? Putting a gasket between the master cylinder and the booster is an old shade tree mechanics trick to cover up the fact that the master cylinder is leaking out of the back of the piston, so you can cover up that fact that the hydraulic fluid is leaking out of the back of here, and you're going to hide it and cover it up, especially before you getting ready to sell it. So what you do is you divert that hydraulic fluid into the booster, and so that it messes up all the rubber in there and destroys the booster. Now, we build boosters. Uncle Ron started in '81. Yep, so that's where it comes from. So next time you see a Mopar, it's got a damn gasket between the booster and the master cylinder, you politely tell him to show you that in a technical manual. God bless you, God bless America, and happy Mopar.